Guys, it's been a while. So get out the party favors. Blow up your balloons. And cue the music, because it's October 1st.
You are about to enter a world of darkness. A world where life and death are meaningless, and pain is God. Woo! Hey,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this year's 31 for 31 Halloween event. For those of you who aren't already in the know, 31 for 31 is a yearly celebration where I watch one horror movie every single night for the entire month of October. And then I let you lovely people know exactly what I think about them. Last year was kind of our first year trying this out, and throughout the month I wrote and posted so many walls of text all over my Facebook wall. I'm sure that all the non-horror fans who are on my timeline really enjoyed that. Obviously, this year things are a little different, and we're trying out an all-new, all-video format hosted here on the Culture Shock YouTube channel. And I even, put a little bit of back end into dressing up the background a little bit, getting a nice little set going for 31 for 31 this year. And I've got a lot of things planned for the season. But most of all, I really just want this to be a time and a place where all of us who are part of the community can just enjoy all things horror. That's kind of the beauty of October, isn't it? The Halloween season and the month of October in general are really our time to embrace what it is that we love about this particular genre of media. And so here on the channel, we're going to take full advantage of that every single day. As far as an introduction goes, I think that's all I've got. So that means that it's time to talk about our first movie for this year's 31 for 31. An all-time great, a sci-fi horror classic, and a true masterclass in the art form that is practical gore. That movie is John Carpenter's 1982 film, The Thing. The Thing is early 80s horror royalty. Directed by John Carpenter of Halloween fame, and starring Kurt Russell in one of his first truly groundbreaking roles. And still to this day, it's probably his best performance within the horror genre. Russell plays R.J. McCready, the helicopter pilot for an American research team stationed within the frozen wastes of Antarctica. The film follows the story of McCready and the team he belongs to after they encounter a malevolent alien creature that had long been frozen underneath the Antarctic terrain. It's based off of Who Goes There, a 1938 novella written by John Campbell Jr. Prior to John Carpenter's take on the story, it had been adapted one other time in 1951's The Thing from Another World, which is a black and white movie that would actually make this movie a remake, something that a lot of people don't know. And the remake of this movie, which is also called The Thing and was released in 2011, would be the remake of an adaptation of a novella. So that's how it goes. But to put it simply, it means there's a lot of different takes on this story that are out there. The Thing is an all-time horror classic. It's an excellent mystery that's confined to an incredibly desperate, isolated set of environments. The entire film takes place in only around 3 or 4 locations that I can think of. And the fact that you don't even notice that, it's just a testament not only to the character work from the team of starring actors, but also to John Carpenter's excellent capturing of atmosphere. Atmosphere is the #1 word to describe this movie. Even before, gore or practical effects or graphic. Before I would use any of those words to describe this movie, I would say atmosphere. That's what makes this movie great. That's what really sets this apart from other films within, the horror canon. Like most Carpenter films, the soundtrack is really grungy and kind of synth-driven. For lack of a better term, and with no pun intended, it kind of sounds icy. The soundtrack is not the only thing that The Thing is known for. No, The Thing is known for its completely bat-ish crazy creature designs and technical showcases of practical gore. Basically, every character death in this movie is memorable, save for maybe Clark and his gunshot wound to the head that he receives, courtesy of Mac, our main character. Whether it's the bloodletting scene, which makes an appearance in our 31 for 31 intro, the chest defibrillation scene, or Gary's crazy hand to the face thing that happens to him in the movie's last act. The Thing is completely loaded with so much blood, mucus, and goo. It's more than you could ever hope to expect from a 1980s practical effects team. So huge props to Rob Bottin and his creature effects team, who made it all happen when this movie was in production. Their work is one of the largest contributors to the legacy that this movie has left and will continue to leave with many more generations of horror fans. Such a display, though, such a wanton display of blood and gore practical effects was not very popular with moviegoers of the time. In fact, The Thing came out to initially negative reviews. Horror reviewers and just film reviewers in general, they said that it was too much, which, by modern standards, obviously, I think we've kind of pushed the line so far where it's like, what is too much? Because The Thing certainly isn't too much. Definitely not by modern standards. But in 1982, people did not like this movie. They thought this movie was kind of crazy, especially for somebody with a reputation like John Carpenter had with a movie like Halloween, which is notable for its lack of gore. The immensely bleak tone and the sense of hopelessness throughout this movie was probably just a little too much for movie-going audiences of the 1980s. The 1980s are kind of known as a glitzy, sort of upbeat time in American history. We were not really looking for media that was super bleak or super dark. A lot of things were played up kind of campy. I mean, you look at slasher movies from the 80s. You think of Friday the 13th. Very campy, no pun intended. And very, very... things are slapstick. They're played up for laughs. Not the case with The Thing. So it just didn't land at the time. But its legacy with horror fans, especially modern horror fans, has always been one of admiration. Without a doubt, The Thing is the perfect movie to have brought to the table for the first day of 31 for 31. It's a timeless showing of what's possible with a well-crafted atmosphere, a good sense of tension, and a whole lot of fake blood and animal guts. The only thing that I might have changed in this movie is probably to flesh out some of the supporting characters a little bit more. Kurt Russell, Keith David, and Wilford Brimley do really well in their positions as the top billed cast, but with a world that's like the one in The Thing, I certainly wouldn't mind a little bit more from our other cast of characters as well. The Thing gets a 9 out of 10, which plants it firmly at the top of our 31 for 31 ranking, where it will likely stay for quite a while. Depending on how the rest of the month goes, it might even stay there the whole time. I'll be honest, I like this movie a lot. It's why I chose it as number one. Number one for 31 for 31 is almost always going to be a horror classic. Last year we did The Exorcist on day one. This year we're doing The Thing. I think I gave both of them a 9 out of 10. And that's kind of what's to be expected of something that's considered a classic. Tomorrow, we're going to take a look at Cuckoo, a 2024 release, so a newer movie, which stars horror up-and-comer Hunter Schafer. So I'm pretty excited for that. That's one that I haven't seen. It's going to be fresh. It may be a little bit more fleshed out as far as a review goes. For The Thing, I did go into a little bit more into background as opposed to just things that I like about it. But that's because if you haven't seen this movie and you like horror, you just need to watch it. It is an all-time great. You're not going to be disappointed by it if you are a horror fan, especially if you're like me and you consider yourself to be a little bit of a gore hound. This is the movie for you. Even if you just like kind of like tense sci-fi atmosphere, watch The Thing. It's a 9 out of 10. That's really all there is to say about it. So for now, that's going to be the end of today's episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you decided that you enjoyed it enough to subscribe for the next one. And we'll catch you tomorrow for day 2.